The stars were unyielding in their silence, scattered across an infinite canvas. Deep within the asteroid field known as Ralith's Cradle, the United Earth Defense Fleet's newest creation, Battlestar Zenith, loomed. It was not just a warship, it was humanity's defiance made manifest. For decades, humanity had been underestimated, dismissed as a fledgling species, with no place in the interstellar community. But after the intergalactic community's IGC ill-fated invasion of Earth 30 years ago, humanity had rebuilt stronger, smarter, and far more dangerous. Captain Elena Voss stood on the bridge, her sharp eyes scanning the holographic displays. The room was alive with data streams, mapping every rock, every heat signature, every anomaly in the asteroid field. The silence of the bridge was heavy with tension. Somewhere in the depths of this field, a pirate enclave was harboring fugitives, members of the Vengeful Circle, a terrorist faction of Sagites still seething over their defeat at Earth's hands. The Zenith was here to end them. "Captain, we've picked up an anomalous signal," said Lieutenant Aiden Zio, the ship's communications officer. His voice was steady, but the subtle furrow in his brow betrayed his unease. "It's odd. Doesn't match any known IGC or pirate codes. It's broadcasting on a subspace frequency." Elena's gaze narrowed. On screen, a waveform appeared on the central display. It was jagged and erratic, but there was an underlying rhythm to it, like a pulse. A sense of unease crept through the crew as the sound filled the bridge, an otherworldly hum that seemed almost alive. "Is it a distress signal?" asked Commander Tariq Hassan, her second-in-command. "Negative," Zio replied. "If anything, it feels like a lure." Elena's instincts screamed danger. But if the circle was involved, they couldn't ignore it. "Helm, adjust course. Bring us closer, but keep the Zenith out of the asteroid cluster. Deploy the Raven's Claw for a closer inspection." The Raven's Claw, a sleek reconnaissance craft, detached from the Zenith's underbelly like a hawk descending on prey. Piloted by Lieutenant Kara Harlow, one of the fleet's best, the ship darted into the asteroid field. On board, Kara was accompanied by 2 Marines and an enigmatic civilian specialist, Dr. Elias Carter, a Zen archaeologist who'd been brought on board due to his expertise in alien artifacts. "I don't like this," Kara muttered as she navigated the treacherous terrain. Asteroids tumbled around them, their surfaces glinting with veins of rare minerals. The signal grew stronger, a pulsating beacon leading them deeper into the maze. "You don't have to like it," Elias said, his tone dry. "You just have to get us there." The tension in the cockpit was palpable. Kara was about to retort when a structure emerged from the shadows, a derelict station embedded in a massive asteroid. It was ancient, its metal hull scarred by time and micrometeor impacts. Strange glyphs adorned its surface, glowing faintly with an eerie green light. "What the hell is that?" one of the Marines whispered. "That," Elias said, his voice tinged with awe, "is not of Sagite origin." The station's airlock yawned open as if beckoning them inside. The Raven's Claw docked with a soft clang. Inside the station, the air was stale but breathable. The team advanced cautiously, their footsteps echoing in the cavernous halls. The glyphs on the walls pulsed in rhythm with the signal, casting an unearthly glow. "Dr. Carter, any idea what language this is?" Kara asked, her voice low. Elias ran his scanner over the glyphs. "It's older than anything in the IGC's database. Precursor level ancient. This station shouldn't even exist." As they moved deeper, they found signs of recent activity, discarded supplies, a makeshift camp. The circle had been here, but where were they now? The answer came abruptly. A shrill, mechanical screech echoed through the station, followed by the thudding of heavy footsteps. "Hostiles, inbound," one of the Marines shouted. From the shadows emerged humanoid machines, their frames sleek and predatory. Their eyes glowed red, and their movements were unnervingly fluid. These weren't ordinary drones. They were hunter-killers, designed for one purpose: extermination. "Fall back," Kara ordered, firing her rifle. The Marines formed a defensive line, their weapons blazing. The drones moved with terrifying efficiency, dodging and countering with precision strikes. Elias ducked behind cover, clutching a small, cube-shaped device. We need to get to the core of this station. The signal. It's coming from there. I think it's controlling them. You think? Kara snapped, reloading her weapon. Not exactly reassuring, Doc. We don't have time for debates, Elias shot back. If we don't stop this, those things will tear us apart. The team fought their way through the corridors, the drones relentless in their pursuit. One Marine was taken down, his scream cut short as a drone's blade pierced his armor. Gritting her teeth, Kara pushed forward, determined not to lose anyone else. Finally, they reached the core, a massive chamber with a glowing obelisk at its center. The signal emanated from the obelisk, its pulses now almost deafening. Elias approached it cautiously, the cube in his hands humming in response. This is a repository, he whispered. A database of some kind. If I can interface with it, make it quick. Kara barked, holding off another wave of drones. Elias activated the cube, which emitted a beam of light that connected with the obelisk. For a moment, everything seemed to freeze. The drones halted mid-attack, their red eyes flickering. What did you do? Kara demanded. Elias turned to her, his expression grim. I think I just woke it up. The obelisk's light intensified, filling the chamber with a blinding glow. When it dimmed, a holographic figure stood before them. It was humanoid but distinctly alien, with elongated limbs and a crystalline structure. Its eyes were like twin stars, burning with intelligence. You have activated the Sentinel, it said, its voice resonating in their minds. Why do you trespass here? We were investigating a signal, Elias stammered. We didn't know what this place was. The Sentinel regarded them for a moment. This station was a vault created to safeguard knowledge and technology. But it was corrupted. The Circle sought to exploit it, awakening the defense systems you encountered. They failed, as will you. Kara stepped forward. We don't want your technology. We just want to stop the Circle. The Sentinel tilted its head. Your intentions are noted, but the knowledge contained here is dangerous. It must not fall into the wrong hands. Before they could respond, the station shuddered violently. On the zenith, Elena watched in horror as a massive alien warship emerged from hyperspace, its weapons locking onto the station. Captain, incoming transmission, Zio reported. The screen flickered to life, revealing a Circle leader. Humans, the alien sneered. You've meddled in our affairs for the last time. Fire up the railguns, Elena ordered. Protect that station at all costs. The battle had begun. Chapter 4. Alliance of Necessity. The battle outside was chaos incarnate. The Zenith unleashed a storm of railgun fire, its kinetic rounds tearing through the asteroid field and striking the alien warship. Yet, the Circle's vessel was no ordinary craft. It absorbed some of the impacts, its shields shimmering ominously. Inside the station, the Sentinel observed the chaos through a holographic projection. The enemy's warship is equipped with stolen precursor technology, it said, addressing Kara's team. It must be neutralized. And how do you suggest we do that? Kara asked, still catching her breath from the skirmish with the drones. The Sentinel raised a crystalline hand, and the obelisk pulsed with light. I can provide temporary access to the station's defense systems. However, this will leave the core vulnerable. You must defend it at all costs, Elias interjected. Wait, if we're using the station's systems, can't we also disable the warship's precursor tech? Maybe even turn it against them? The Sentinel paused, its glowing eyes narrowing. Such an action carries significant risk. But it is possible. Kara glanced at her team. It's worth the risk. Do it. The Sentinel's form dissolved into the obelisk as it began to hum with renewed energy. Outside, the station's surface came alive with ancient weaponry beams of concentrated plasma and kinetic projectiles launched toward the Circle's ship. The enemy vessel retaliated, unleashing devastating blasts that rocked the station. On the zenith, Elena coordinated the fleet's counterattack. Focus all fire on their shield generators. We need to create an opening. Back in the core chamber, Kara's team braced as another wave of drones surged in. The Marines fought valiantly, but the sheer number of enemies threatened to overwhelm them. Elias worked frantically, his cube interfacing with the obelisk. Almost there. Just need a little more time. Suddenly, the obelisk flared brightly, and the station's weapons intensified their assault. The Circle's warship began to falter, its shields flickering under the combined pressure of the Zenith and the station's defenses. But then, a new threat emerged. From the warship, smaller vessels launched boarding craft heading straight for the station. Kara's jaw tightened. "We've got incoming. Everyone, hold your positions. We're not letting them take this station." As the boarding craft breached the station, Kara's team prepared for the fight of their lives. The fate of the galaxy and the dangerous secrets of the Sentinel hung in the balance. The station shook violently as the Circle's boarding crafts latched onto its hull. Kara's team stood at the ready, their weapons trained on the bulkhead. The Marines had fortified their position around the core chamber, using crates and debris to create makeshift barricades. The glyphs on the walls glowed brighter, as if the station itself was preparing for the onslaught. "Brace yourselves," Kara ordered. "They're coming." The airlock hissed, and then the walls exploded inward. Circle shock troopers, clad in dark armor and armed with plasma rifles, surged into the chamber. The Marines opened fire, their weapons lighting up the room. The initial wave of enemies fell, but more poured in, undeterred by the mounting casualties. "We can't hold them forever," shouted one of the Marines. Elias, still working at the obelisk, yelled back, "Just a little longer. I'm almost through the encryption." The Sentinel's voice echoed through the chamber. "Your efforts are commendable, but the enemy's forces are overwhelming. I will assist." Suddenly, the walls themselves seemed to come alive. Panels slid open, revealing automated turrets that unleashed streams of plasma at the invaders. The Circle's shock troopers faltered under the combined assault of human and Sentinel defenses. "Nice timing," Kara muttered, taking down another trooper with a precise shot. The Zenith's counterattack outside. The battle raged on. The Zenith darted through the asteroid field, evading blasts from the Circle's warship. Elena's voice was calm but commanding as she directed her crew. "Target their weapons array." "We need to buy the station more time," she ordered. "Captain," Zio said, "their shields are down to 30%, but they're charging a massive energy weapon. If they fire, it'll destroy the station." Elena's jaw tightened. "Helm, bring us in close." "Tactical, prepare the Nova Lance." The Nova Lance was the Zenith's trump card, a prototype weapon capable of delivering a devastating strike. But using it at close range was a gamble. If it failed, the Zenith would be left vulnerable. "Ready to fire on your command," the weapons officer said. Elena took a deep breath. Fire. The enemy vessel's shields shattered, and its hull erupted in a cascade of explosions. Cheers erupted on the bridge, but Elena remained focused. "Damage report," she demanded. "The warship's main reactor is critical." "They're retreating," Zio reported. "But boarding crafts are still inside the station." Elena nodded grimly. "Then it's up to Kara's team now." The Core's decision in the core chamber, the battle reached a fever pitch. Kara and her team were exhausted, their ammunition running low. The Sentinel's turrets were still active, but the enemy was relentless. "We're outnumbered," shouted a Marine. "Then we make every shot count," Kara replied, her voice steel. Elias's cube emitted a high-pitched whine as it interfaced with the obelisk. "I've got it," he exclaimed. "The station systems are under our control." The Sentinel reappeared as a hologram. "You have done well. I can now disable the Circle's remaining forces and neutralize their precursor technology. However, there is a cost." Kara frowned. "What cost?" "This station was designed as a failsafe. To ensure its secrets remain protected, it must self-destruct once its purpose is fulfilled," the Sentinel explained. "You must evacuate immediately." "No," Elias protested. "The knowledge here could change everything. We can't just destroy it. If it falls into the wrong hands, it will doom countless worlds," the Sentinel said. "The decision is yours, but time is running out." Kara's gaze hardened. We're not risking the galaxy for a treasure trove. Elias, prepare to evacuate. Reluctantly, Elias deactivated his cube. The Sentinel began the countdown. You have 5 minutes. The Raven's claw detached from the station just as explosions rippled through its structure. Kara watched from the cockpit as the station imploded, collapsing in on itself and taking the Circle's secrets with it. Back on the Zenith, Elena received their transmission. "Glad to see you made it," she said. "Barely," Kara replied. "The station's gone, and so is the Circle's warship." Mission accomplished. In the aftermath, humanity's resilience once again became the talk of the galaxy. The destruction of the station ensured the precursor technology remained out of reach, but questions lingered about what had been lost. Elena stood with Kara in the observation deck of the Zenith. The stars stretched out before them, silent witnesses to their victory. "Do you think we did the right thing?" Kara asked. Elena nodded slowly. "The right thing is rarely easy, but as long as humanity stands together, we'll face whatever comes next." The Zenith turned toward the distant glow of Earth, carrying its crew home. In the void, the stars remained silent, but humanity's defiance burned brighter than ever.